You could dive deep into it or not, and you don't, we're happy.
But nobody can ever take away your love and your wisdom.
Guys, welcome to Dr. Jim and Jodie Show, and I'm gonna cry. And I can for real touch her now rather than being like, oh, is this Nichols?
I'm gonna touch her.
Right?
I can hear you.
Yes, she did. She's like, I met her at the Steve Harvey Show, and they had set you in front of me because I wrote in a letter to him in the book that he gave me a quote for that I was going to be on a plane hanging out with you guys one day.
Yes.
And then they sat you in front of me, and I was like, oh!
And you're behind me going, she's right here. I'm gonna touch her. And I was like, I can hear you.
Yeah, she's like,
freaky. And look at us. Is it 2 years later?
Yes.
2 years later, you've been on the tribe, on the campus for a while.
Yeah.
Like front row.
Yes.
Front row at our live events.
I love it.
Yeah, just family now.
I love it. And you're part of the reason why we started.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We
You're
came to
welcome.
Abundance Now.
That's what we do though. Like
Yeah.
our big commitment is we're gonna connect amazing people on the planet to do more amazing things together. To do things collectively that you never could do individually.
Got
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if two great individuals can do great things, but collectively, you can blow your own mind.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about the Abundance Now tour or what you're up to with that?
Yeah, well, it's the whole concept. We're in this season where everyone's looking through the window at other people's lives, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, television. And this is a conversation that abundance is available to all of us, not some of us.
Right.
And abundance isn't something that you go get and it's out there over there someday when on one day row. It's actually now. You don't go get abundance, you expand what you currently have.
Right.
And so it's this juicy, delicious tour tsunami that kind of started itself from the Steve Harvey Show. I made a statement that said, I talked about, having no money and being on government assistance and not being able to put Pampers on my son. And then at the end I said I needed to save myself and recognize that I am my own rescue. No one can rescue me but me. And that went bananas. And in 3 months it got 23 million views. And people were just really wanting to understand, I am my own rescue. Okay, so show me how to be my own rescue.
Right.
I believe in that. And so Abundance Now came out of that conversation of how do I become my own rescue, not later, but now. And it's international. It's now we're up to doing 3-4 different conferences all around abundance a year.
That's great.
Next year we'll do more.
And I think it's just so important for everybody to get that, because every day, we come in or we encounter things that are like trials or tribulations, and then we limit ourselves, and then that one day could turn into 2 days and a week, and next thing you know, we feel like we're in a rut, and it's just all about being present and,
Right.
and doing it.
And it doesn't mean you won't go through something, but it does mean when you go through it, don't take out real estate.
Right.
Don't do a lease option buy in the middle of your junk. Matter of fact, don't even do a rent to own. Just literally keep moving through it. Know you're in it and be present and ask 2 critical questions. What decisions routed me into this dark place?
Mm-hmm.
And second question, what actions will get me out? Decisions got you in, actions will get you out.
Yeah, so this kind of leads into my first question with you is, if you were to literally just lose everything, had to start over tomorrow, what would be the first 3 things that you would do to gain this back for everybody else to keep educating them?
It was so funny because when you said if I lost everything tomorrow, there was no fear that came up in me, which was really interesting because I was like, lost everything, that's a lot, But I was like, but when you know how to build it, you're not afraid of losing it, And so the first thing I would do is I would find out what path got me to losing it.
Okay.
It's because your past leaves clues. So what decisions so that I can just keep track, not score, but keep track. A lot of people are keeping score. This is why it won't work. Keeping track just goes, okay, made that decision, got that outcome. Do I like it or not? So one, I would just really stay mindful. The second thing I would personally do is go get a coach, because a coach changed my life. She happens to be in the room right now.
I was just looking at her.
She's in the room right now. So a coach saved my life, and so I just got someone who was 10 to 20 steps ahead of me, who knew what I knew. My biggest worries were, they're like, don't worry about that. I'm trying to forget what you're trying to learn, that. So I go get someone who's out in front of me. Because if I'm a good teacher, it's because I'm a better student. And the third thing I would do is I would create a plan. And I'm gonna change the plan 1,000 times, but I'm gonna create a plan so that I'm not making things up as I go along. Because then my emotions are engaged. A plan is more practical, it's methodical, it's systemic. Emotions are just kind of in the moment. And I know how to do that really well, but I also know what brings me the best results is a plan. Then I can see how I need to tweak the plan versus making it up every day. You don't see what you need to change because you're making it up every day.
I think so many people get stuck in that too. Like they create a plan and then they fall off it one day or the next, and then
they don't get back on it.
No,
they don't get
they
back
think
on
that
it.
they just broke everything or they just lost everything they had. When just realize you can be flexible within that.
Which is why you have a coach.
Tolerate yourself.
That's why you have a coach. A coach will say, "Let's go back to the plan." You know, because I'm all emotional. So many times with Susie, I was like, and my son, and all of a sudden she's like, "Okay, well, what was the plan?" And I go, "Oh, you're right." She's like, "So that part didn't work. Let's tweak it." So that's why someone ahead of you. Like, and I'm a big advocate of that, not because I am a coach, but because coaching transformed my life. And you can call it anything. You can call it a mentor. I don't really do mentors because mentor means give me your free time. And the people that I love and the people I want to follow, they have very little free time. So I want someone who's dedicated to me and my growth. And so you're right. It's about understanding where did I fall off and get back on. And sometimes I have to acknowledge that I went a little too far to the left. Or that worked for me then, but it doesn't work for me now. You know, because I used to try old solutions to new problems.
Got it.
What I love is you're so transparent.
Yes.
It's beautiful because we're all human.
We call it butt naked transparency. Emotionally butt naked transparency. Because I think people deserve that, and they're looking for that. It's like they're like, what if you trust me with the truth? Just tell me your truth, and then let me choose you. So that whole I'm an expert is like, as long as you understand, expert comes with 1,000 breakdowns. Because I think I'm an expert. I'm the breakthrough coach. Because I was the breakdown queen.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like when John Assaraf, who was also in The Secret, he said, "Lisa, you should name yourself the breakthrough coach." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you're a master of breakthrough." And for a while, I had a hard time accepting that. And I was like, "Well, I guess I had a lot of my justification was I had a lot of breakdowns. I came through them, so I guess I'm the breakthrough coach." But that's how I got to it. You know, so when we allow ourselves to live with our truth out loud, the truth is sexy.
It is.
The truth is sexy.
Yeah.
I mean, when someone like nothing like a person. In my case, a man date. I have issues. I'm working on them. I'm dealing with things. You're like, oh, okay.
You trust me?
Right.
It's
Oh, okay. Like the truth is just sexy. You know, my son. When my son is at his most transparent sense, there's no mad in my energy. There's like, I get you, son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're in defense and defend and righteousness and arrogance. You know, no, I'd rather not. And I realize that the more transparent I am, the closer I am to my feet on the ground. So there's nowhere for me to fall.
Yeah, that's awesome. We actually got to interview Dr. DeMartini.
Oh, I love John.
He could not stop saying the best things about you.
I love John.
So that whole time, like that whole group of you guys are just.
Amen.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm like the little sister. Like they've all been in this industry so much longer than me. They're brilliant. You know, I sit with them in awe. I literally sit with them in awe. John and I were just in Budapest together, and I was just listening to him talk. I was like, how do you form those words?
Right?
Man, I'm like, say it again. Can you say that backwards, John? Like I'm just in awe. And then I turn, I look.
He starts like, no,
Yeah. We're at dinner. We're at dinner, and he's doing. I'm like, you're talking like this at 10:30 at night. I cannot download this at noon. And so I'm just in awe of all of them. I'm in awe of he and Jack and Reverend Michael Beckwith, and I'm just grateful that they have some level of reverence for me as well, because I feel like I've been able to pick up things from their hymn, you know, and just and eat from the crumbs that they leave, and then learn and grow from them, you know. But I'm clearly the little sister. I'm clearly benefiting from the doors that they kicked open. I'm clearly standing on their shoulders.
Do you have any advice for people out there that, like, because this is a great point, because there's a lot of people that'll see somebody and they kind of want to do something, but they just feel like they're overshadowed by somebody that's already doing it, or they feel that there's somebody greater doing it.
Yeah.
So you find
that space
yourself,
is already filled.
right? So you find yourself in all these people that have been doing it. So how do you, like, just say screw it and just go for it?
Because no matter how many people are doing something, no one can do it like you. No one has your unique fingerprint. You are an unrepeatable miracle with one fingerprint, and no one can do you. So I'm saying the same thing my brothers from another mother and my sisters from another mister, they're saying, but no one can do it like me. I put my style on it. So I'm not committing to be the most original person. I just deliver the content in my original way. And so like repetition is not the mother and father of learning. Repetition is the mother, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, and second cousin of learning. So we're gonna need to hear it several times.
Right.
So give it to me again in your package.
In a different voice.
In a different voice with a different story and a different element. Absolutely. So I never wondered if I was being false or fake or repetitive. I would tell people, listen, I learned this from Jack. Hey, John taught me this. I don't know about you, but this was a major in my life. So first of all, I'm meant to be a student. If you're meant to be a student, I always point to my coach, like, man, she's always pouring into me. And I'm always reflecting, this is what I learned. Then I'll say, I was so resistant.
Oh.
I was so resistant. I'll tell her myself, I'll bust myself out. I was so resistant when she tried to do the time management thing with me.
She just did it to me. She had 5 minutes.
Yeah. And so and so all of a sudden when you do that, you humanize yourself. No one wants to follow a robot. No one wants to follow someone who's not real. I want to follow a real person with real issues, real concerns, real insecurities. I want to follow. So show me your humanity, and I'll show you my heart. Give me your truth, and I'll give you my loyalty.
Great.
That
So
was
what would that
dropping
truth and loyalty be back to if you had to visit your 20-year-old self, 30-year-old self, and revisit at that space of time? What would you tell yourself now or then?
I would tell myself at 20 that you are enough. Right now at 20, you are enough. You're smart enough, you're young enough, you're wise enough, you're enough. That you woke up enough, and no matter what happens to you throughout today, you're still enough. Because every time something hiccuped me, I would go, am I okay? Am I all right? No, I'm enough. I'm enough. And that wake up each morning and like yourself. And then when you go on Facebook, if anyone else likes you, that's bonus. But the main like is that you liked yourself first. That's the main like. That's the only like that matters today.
I only got 10 likes today.
Right. It's true.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Really.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, like that soul in your eyes. I appreciate it. Yeah.
That's the kindred spirits. The humanity has no color, has no race, it has no religion, it has no geographical origin, it has no economic status. And when you allow the divinity in you to touch the divinity in someone else, when I allow the God in me to touch the God in you, the spirit in me to touch the spirit in you, then everything else melts away, and all we see is our likeness. And all of our differences just make us that more interesting to each other. So that's what you see available. When you make your humanity, your divinity, and the spirit in you available, like when you really are willing to make that available to people, because that's a touch, that's an intimacy. And we're so busy being around each other but not with one another. And what you feel is that we're not just around each other right now, we're with each other, we're connected. And that's that sense of loyalty that we miss.
That was for Susie. She told us we were done.
And it's a wrap.
To wrap this up, if you were to for one thing that they could do right now or to challenge them with some piece of homework, what would you want to leave them with?
I would say, how can you blow someone's mind today with kindness, consciousness, and being present? How can you blow someone else's mind? Like set an intention today to surprise the person at the grocery store in the grocery line, to surprise the person behind you, pay for their coffee when you get in line at Starbucks. Surprise someone with an unexpected act of love or kindness or compassion without any expectation of anything in return, and nothing you get on Facebook and talk about you did, because then that's marketing. Like you just do it. You just do it. You do it because it's the right thing to do. Like that's what I would challenge you to do, because everything is full circle. And you don't do it to come back to you. You do it because it feels good going out. And all of a sudden you'll find this tsunami of love and compassion and awareness coming to you. And your biggest challenge should be handling all your blessings. That should be your challenge.
Love the world, it'll love you back. Right?
Absolutely. And don't just love the world on the good days. I challenge you to love the ugly. Love the ugly.
Yeah.
The pretty will take care of itself. But love the ugly. Love me on my ugly day, because then my pretty day just is easy. And so that's what I would challenge, because that's where I have to say something I've never said, do something I've never done, to be a woman that I believe myself to be. See, as long as I'm in my comfort zone, I'm being the woman I know I am. But I want to be the woman I know myself to be. I don't want to be my 2017 version. I want to be the 2020 version of me. I want to step toward her every day.
Beautiful.
I love it. Yes.
I don't have anything to
Right,
say
he's
after
like-
that. I'm done.
like showing up at her stuff. You guys changed my life. You did.
Amen.
Yeah, like completely changed.
You
my
jumped
life.
on campus and never stepped off. And you start bringing people. Amen.
And
Right.
I just committed to January. Is that what we're doing?
Ooh, mastermind. Yummy.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
we're-
get ready for
yeah,
that.
We're doing it because I.
Put your seatbelt on, eat your Wheaties, hydrate, B12.
Done,
Just saying.
done, yeah.
It ain't a game. It ain't a game. You know what I mean when I say it ain't a
I
game?
do.
Okay.
She is. I mean, it is stripped down. Here's
Like
your
you're in
numbers.
the office, in my offices for 3 days. The stuff we're gonna do with
Look
you
at he's
before.
scared. He's like, oh, what'd you say?
Oh,
Turn
because
around.
I didn't commit.
Oh, what? Are you playing halfway in? You better get all the way in.
It's like she's speaking for me right now.
Yeah, Dr. Jim.
She's
and
claiming.
Jodie. That's
All
a
right,
plan.
thank you
We
guys,
appreciate
everybody.
You guys love you.
Take care.
Yay.